getting or who you selling. Could be either.
Okay. Well, I'll take the same position in terms of a sell. You got to sell TJ Hockenson. This is a great time of year, in my opinion, to sell based on, the feel and based on the exact production in terms of what people are feeling in the moment before they have the opportunity to apply the context, right? I'm seeing people. This is the time where you look at TJ Hockenson and he's smashing faces and he had a massive game this week. He just won people semifinals. People are feeling rosy and happy about him. This is the opportunity to be able to get out of TJ Hockenson before people actually look back at all of the stats and people forget about the specific fantasy points and win, and they start looking at, okay, what was everybody's stats and how should we project these guys going forward? And what people will realize is that TJ Hockenson, even since joining the Vikings, has had a 21% target share, which is really good for a tight end, to be fair. But he's also not a downfield tight end, and he's a catch and fall down tight end who doesn't have the yak. The big reason why it feels like he's been exploding is first place at a very nice catch rate. And most importantly, the Vikings have averaged 42.1 pass attempts per game since trading for TJ Hockenson. If you think that the trade of TJ Hockenson is why they have decided to turn into a team that passes 40 times per game, I suppose that's possible. But I would not expect any team to continue passing 42.1 times per game. We are seeing the peak of TJ Hawkinson's capabilities at this moment on a team that has no wide receiver weapons behind Justin Jefferson and will continue to certainly have Justin Jefferson and can only get better beyond him. And this is where we're at. I expect TJ Hockenson to likely go back to being the mid-range tight end one he's been for most of his career. And because of injuries and really adverse circumstances with Kyle Pitts and Mark Andrews, this is really a once in a, I won't say a lifetime, but I would say once in a value cycle opportunity to trade TJ Hockenson into Kyle Pitts or Mark Andrews without adding all that much to do it. And those guys are simply a lot better than TJ Hockenson. They earn targets at a much higher rate. They earn targets higher down the field. They are much more athletic and have more opportunities to turn big plays downfield. That's a guy that I'm absolutely looking to sell.
I think TJ Hockenson it's really interesting to me because TJ Hockenson actually is third in the NFL in route participation, which is something that we're looking for, guys to run routes.
He runs all the routes.
Yeah. He runs all the routes. He's getting a 20.5% target share, which is top 5, number 4 in the NFL target share. He is got an ADOT of 7.6. So while it's not great, it's not terrible either. That's 13th in tight ends. But yeah, he just doesn't really score a whole lot of points. I don't really get it. Likely the yards after catch, he's not getting a whole lot of those. And anyways, here's I think what really does it for me. He is currently tight end 2 right now, 13.3 points per game. There's nobody in football scoring more points per game at the tight end position than TJ Hockenson other than Travis Kelce. Best tight end. If Travis Kelce retired today, this dude would be the tight end 1 going into next year. Which is crazy. But what's interesting about that is he has one game with 39.9 fantasy points per game. He has another game with 35.9 points. And that's it. Those are his games. He's got nothing else. He's got 2 monstrous games, which is hilarious. So I think, like, at a bare minimum, if you look at like the tight end position, it's like, yeah, he's like a reasonable bet, I guess. Like, he's not bad. But then when you look at like what he brings to the table versus his value, it is just really, really, really not worth it. If you're comparing TJ Hockenson to other players in his value range, we can jump up like just a tiny little bit on Fantasy Calc and get to Javonte Williams, which I would happily do. You want to know what's really interesting about that?
I don't really care about Javonte Williams, to be honest. I'd probably rather not.
No, it's not Javonte Williams. You're going to care about this because you like this a lot. If you go just a little bit higher, 60 more points on Fantasy Calc, which is virtually nothing, you can get to Trey Lance. And if you can get TJ Hockenson to freaking Trey Lance, you do it every single time. Every time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, we're talking adding almost nothing to TJ Hockenson to get into Trey Lance. That's crazy. Absolutely crazy.